Hey everybody, Kimberly Olson here, also known as the Gold Digger Girl, coming in for a Facebook Live interview with Nicole Chugg. So hopefully you got a chance to read her bio. She is a freaking rock star, and I'm so honored that we were able to nail down a time because if you didn't know, I'm streaming from Austin, Texas, and she is on the other side of the globe in Australia. So thank you, Nicole, for being on. You're amazing.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be with all you rock stars today.
Yes, it'll be good. A good conversation to have for sure. So while everyone's popping on right now, why don't you guys share with us, you know where, so want to be careful with engagement. Why don't you share if you've never seen Nicole before, just put new, so that way she can connect with you one-on-one just to say hello afterwards. And then also, because we're going to talk about longevity today, we're going to talk about Yvonne's on here. She's in Australia. She says is it Aussie or Aussie? How do you say it? Aussie?
Aussie.
Aussie? Okay, we can practice with the accent. I'm finally getting the Texas one down. I'll try that one too. So why don't you put in the comments, let us know how long you've been in network marketing. Okay, not how many companies, but how long have you been in the network marketing industry? I know Roxana is on here and she's been in it for quite some time. So I'm really just pumped to be able to talk about your experience, the ups and downs, and we can offer some insight and inspiration for our listeners today. And if you guys are getting value from this, please let your community know. You know how to do that, whether it be sharing this to a page that you have or a group. We would really love that. Okay, so Nicole, let's jump in. So since a lot of the people on here are new to you, I'm seeing new.
Yes.
Why don't you share with the viewers and my audience a little bit about you as far as your background, what got you into network marketing, and really why you wanted to do this industry?
Yeah, so for me, I guess I'll just sort of start a little bit with my background, just explain why I got into this incredible industry. So my background was actually working as the state manager for one of Australia's leading cosmetic brands. That was almost a decade ago now. It was a job that I absolutely loved, and to be completely honest, I actually thought it was going to be my career. Like, that was it. That was the highlight. That was my end game. And I kind of got there, and then I was like, wow, my gosh, I'm working so hard for someone else and I get amazing results, but all I keep getting from them is more work and more hours. So I really got to that point that I was getting itchy feet, and I was like, there's just got to be more out there, you know? I thought that was the ultimate, and I was still getting itchy feet, and I was like, there's got to be something else. So, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in that, and my husband's in the Defence Force, and it was around that time that I was getting those itchy feet that he actually got posted. So we pretty much sold our house, we uprooted everything, we moved together to a country town where I didn't know anybody. So there definitely wasn't any career options there either. So, you know, I was in a capital city, so I had the career, but where we moved, I couldn't do that. So I really needed to look at that new option, I guess, that new way of life. And, you know, I looked at business opportunities, buying into businesses. I looked at all of that. I'm like, but Nicole, that's crazy, because all you're doing is buying yourself a wage with massive overheads, massive commitments. And I just realized that that wasn't my option. And I was actually introduced to my company initially, and my instant reaction was, no, thank you. I don't do party plan. I have no interest in any of that. I was a state manager for a top cosmetics company. So I had a bit of ego there. And my initial reaction was no. But to be completely honest, it was probably only 3 months later, I actually went back and I'm like, tell me more. I think I need to know more. And the truth is, I was just completely uneducated about what this industry is, which majority of people actually are when they say no. They're saying no and they don't know what they're saying no to. So when I really looked at it, I knew that it was the option. And so I jumped right on in. And I love the fact that it was unlimited income, that I can be in control of my own life. I can be in control of how much I want to earn, when I want to work. You know, no more having, you know, the chitter chatter at work behind your back because you had to take the day off because your children were sick. You know, that happens all the time, and it's sickening. And I had that happen so many times because my husband is in the Defence Force. We never had that family support. So every time we moved, we relied heavily on childcare and ourselves. That was it. So for me, it was the perfect opportunity, and that's pretty much how I stumbled in. And 9 years later, I'm still here. I love it more today than I did when I started. I'm more passionate now than when I started. And, you know, I just have massive goals. I want so much more for myself and my family and for my team. And so I will never stop. There is no better option out there than this incredible profession. I love it.
Oh, I love your fire. Can you guys hear it? It's so refreshing. I freaking love it. So I have some different things I want to ask you, and I can identify with that because I remember if you follow my journey at all, like when I really just kind of it really went crazy as far as all in, like you did, it was in November, a year and a half ago. And I remember specifically cold and flu season is high in this area. And one of Elise was my blues, like, why are so many big players coming into the network marketing space? Like that's a big part of it. So do you feel as though you are driven more by not wanting to go back and do that? Or are you more driven by keeping your eye on the prize, like keeping the success?
Well, definitely now it's the eye on the prize. You know, I've had a taste of the success and I love it. And I love what it's done for our family. And I want more. Like I want more for myself and for my family and for my team. Like I'm not even remotely even close to what my goal is. You know, already we've been able to build our dream home. I'm able to earn a 6-figure income from home. I've, you know, been able to design my beautiful home office, which I love, you know, being able to stay at home with the kids, all of those sorts of things. But I still want more for myself and for my kids. I still want to be able to show my family that there is more. There's always more to keep striving for more. So I'm definitely still focused on that end goal. You know, I have massive, massive goals, and I really, to be honest, haven't even scratched the surface of what I want for myself and family. So there's a long way to go yet.
No, I think that's awesome. And I love that you're always like, because I know you personally, obviously we work together, and it's just so, like I said, because I don't know if it's the 5 years slump or something, and we can talk a little bit about that, but it's well known because a lot of you I know are newer to network marketing, you know, have been doing it 1, 2, or 3 years. But once you get to that, especially if you stay with the same company, and by the way, Nicole has been with the same company this whole 9 years, almost coming, she'll be hitting 10 years. She hasn't changed, guys. She hasn't changed lanes. Like she has stayed the course. So when it comes to that, and staying it, how have you been able to handle the ups and downs? Because I don't think people realize that there are ups and downs. And it sounds like you've almost prepared for it from what I can tell.
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is, the grass is, you know, not always greener. That's one thing that I've learned. And, you know, you're going to, exactly like Kimberly said, you're going to experience those ups and downs no matter where you are or what you're doing. So, you know, I think you just have to just keep pushing through them no matter what, and just keep going, because, you know, every no you get is that closer to a yes. And so I think mindset wise, you know, you need to be making sure you're preparing your mind, and you're doing your affirmations, and you're doing all of those things of a morning and setting yourself up for the day so that you are ready for it. And just know that it's part of your journey, and you just get stronger and stronger every time you get a no. Every time you get a no, you learn how to respond to that better. You know, it's just all learning. Everything we do is learning. And, you know, keep developing you, keep learning, keep reading, keep listening, because you're only ever going to go as far as you personally grow. So, you know, if you want more, you've got to keep working on yourself more as well as doing the action. You can't just have one without the other. So many times I hear people say, but I'm doing my affirmations and I'm doing my miracle mornings, but their actions don't align. Or they're doing all the actions, but they're not working on the mindset. You have to have both, guys. Like they work synergistically together. You can't have one without the other and have that success. So it is definitely a combination. Both are equally as important.
There's so many things I want to say to that, because you're just so on point. It's kind of like the movie The Secret. And I know I can see you guys commenting, we froze up. It's not our connection. It's actually Facebook, I think. So sorry about that. But hopefully in the replay, it's okay. But we'll give you enough value for the moments that come through clear. So the movie, The Secret in the book, it's very much about your intention. And I feel it's missing the action. But then I also see people who try to apply the principles they learned from me with building social media, but they don't have the intention or the affirmations. One of the really cool things about you is that it seems to me, you can tell me about this, I don't see this kind of daily in the morning, you're doing this like set ritual where people feel like they're supposed to. I feel like for you, it's almost like all the time. You know, sometimes people are like, yeah, I work out at the gym for 20 minutes a day, which I know you're a huge advocate of working out, but I think it's important to be active all the time. You know, it's part of your lifestyle. So I almost feel like with you, it's like, you're like mindset on the move, but how do you view yourself with that? Do you do something kind of organized, or is it more just you're always talking to yourself and telling yourself positive things?
I wish I was really, really structured, but you know what? We all have our strengths, right? And structure really isn't mine. But I'm religious with the gym. 5:30 every morning I go. And that is one thing that I've changed in the last 14 months. And it's completely transformed my life. My mindset, my productivity, my organization, everything is so much better. So if you're not exercising, that's one thing I've just got to say you've absolutely got to implement. I really do try to have between 9 and 11 each morning. I try to be structured with that is my time to be working on me and reading and learning and listening. But, you know, I'm having a shower and I've got an Audible book going all the time, like, or I'm cleaning my teeth and I've got that going. I'm making the bed, I've got that going. So there's always time. You know, some people think they're too busy. You're not too busy. It's just about creating that consistent habit. And, you know, when you do it long enough, it does become that habit and it becomes part of you. So, you know, if you're struggling to fit it in, get Audible and make sure you're listening to it when you're on the toilet, when you're cleaning your teeth, wherever. It doesn't matter, cooking dinner. But just make sure you're listening all the time and you just continue to grow and grow and grow. And it just equips you to be able to handle those no's and that rejection and those objections. It really doesn't matter. It's just part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you kind of go for no or expect it. And Marisol, she said she loves it about you're going to go as far as you personally grow. So if you're not growing the way that you want to in your business, you might want to look at how you are, you know, how far you've come or what work you are doing on yourself. I think because you can't really handle a team if you yourself haven't poured into your own self. Speaking of team, I mean, you've reached the top of your company, you've earned a gazillion trips. I mean, I had the honor of doing a webinar training for your team months and months ago. It seems like yesterday, but they adore you. Like they freaking think you're like the best thing ever invented. And I think you're awesome too. How do you go about like leading that big of a team, that many personalities? A lot of people watching are newer to leadership. Did you have experience or did you just sort of like, are you direct with people? Like, what's your strengths with leadership or what advice can you offer to people?
Look, I think, you know, you learn a lot as you go. And I had very little experience when I started this business, and it's definitely been a learning curve. My team call me the Velvet Hammer. I'm pretty direct. But you know what, guys? Like, you know, my view is people are in a business to do the business, to make money, to grow, to have more, be more, do more, give more, whatever. That's kind of my view. And, you know, I will always say to everybody, you know, if you want to go up, you got to show up. And I'm really quite firm about all of these things, but I also will always finish by saying, if you're happy with where you're at, that's fine. What I'm saying may not apply to you. But what I did find, and I did this not so long ago, is, you know, I actually started finding myself pulling back from who I really am to try and accommodate a minority. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a few people that found that was the tough love, or the love punch we call it, with love. I did find that some of the team found it, you know, that I am direct. I'm never rude. I love and I value my team, but I am direct and I just say it how it is. And I found that a little while ago I was trying to sugarcoat things a little bit much, and I kind of lost my way. And I'm like, that's not who I am. That's not the type of person that I am. I am who I am. Those that love me how I am, and that's how I can best serve and help my team. When I'm trying to be someone that I'm not to accommodate for the minority, that's not serving you or your team, guys. So be you and be true to you, and don't apologize for that, because you are who you are and you're a team. We're attracted to you for a reason. So just, that's probably the biggest thing I want to say is don't change for anybody. You be you, because that's important.
Yeah, that's so great. And having those tough conversations, it's actually harder to have those conversations. It's harder to be firmer with people because we're all like people pleasers and just like, you know, ingrained to be nice. Yeah. But it's actually better for your team. The more direct you can be, it's going to help them grow versus you being nice. They don't need you to be nice like their friend is nice. They need you to lead them and inspire them and push them and challenge them. And clearly you're just amazing at that, Nicole. So my favorite last question I always ask people when I get a chance to interview them is, if you could go back to yourself when you first got started on this journey, what would you say to the younger, you know, the 9 years ago, Nicole, when you first got started, what would you say? What advice would you give?
Well, one of the things that I really would have been strong on is personal development from the start. I remember when I started and my upline was talking to me about the secret and the law of attraction. Honestly, I remember this call crystal clear. I remember getting off the phone, talking to my husband and saying, I don't know what this Debbie's on about, but seriously, what is this woo-woo stuff? Like, it was not, I had never heard of the law of attraction, I didn't even know what any of that was. I was from a small country town, so we were a bit backward. So I had never heard of that.
I had it either. Yeah.
All I wanted to do is tell me what to do, not this stuff. But guys, it's important. You can go out and do everything, but if you don't have that right, I swear I could be way even further along in my incredible journey had I done more of that. But that is all part of my growth and all part of my journey, so that I can now teach my team to not make the same mistakes that I did. So I would absolutely say, 100% dive into social media, but your actions, social media, personal development, but your actions have to align. Like you do have to do that. And the other thing that I would say to myself is be consistent always. A little bit each day is better than a lot here and there. It really is. That little bit over time compounds, you guys, and you can have massive, massive success. And, I coach with Kimberly, and she's, oh my gosh, taught me so much. For all of you that are on here, you know how incredible she is. She's changed my life. Like, I was at the top of the company before I met Kimberly, but it's taken my business to a whole other level. And, this social media is just brilliant. And when I'm talking about consistency, that's something that I've had to work on, and working with Kimberly, it's really, really helped me with that. But consistency, that would absolutely be one of the things that I would say to myself is being more consistent and really develop you, because you want to go far in this business, and you can't go far unless you're really working on you. Like, it's going to stop you in your tracks.
Yeah. And you're so coachable, and not just because I've got to work with you, but what I mean by that is, think about it, you guys. Like when Nicole started, it was that, belly to belly, not even that, because she didn't have a warm market yet. It wasn't even the events, because she had to get people to do the parties. But to go from that and build her business a certain way to all of a sudden everybody taking things onto social media. Like, think about that. We all kind of arrived here. I know some of you have been in the industry a long time. That's all I've ever known. Like, I didn't do any of those things. So for you, Nicole, to step into social media and say, okay, I guess this is how I'm recruiting now. Who's going to teach me, right? And so you're just so coachable. But I mean, you consistently recruit new people every month. And I want to repeat that, you guys. She has a huge team, and yet she's in there connecting with people, making relationships, recruiting them. She's getting new customers and new team members every month. Do you know how many people at her level just kind of let it ride? And it's attrition, right? So then they're like, and Nicole, I think you've just been just so hands-on, and just really, be an example to your team of like, okay, cool, let me learn, let's switch gears. This is evolving. And to show up consistently in a space that you knew nothing about. You're doing such a great job. I'm so impressed. I'm proud of you.
And I think, guys, like, that's, it is important, and it is important to embrace new ways and go. And, I'm a big believer that I can't ask my team to do something that I'm not willing to do. I don't care what level I am. That doesn't give me the right to sit there and expect my team to do something that I'm not willing to do. So I'm a huge believer in that. And I know that I sponsor more than anybody in my team every single month, because that I have to show my team. And, since embracing social media, the last 4 months, it's been 4 to 6 people direct a month. I don't think I've ever done that in my business, other than maybe once or twice. So, I'm able to consistently do that. And I want to share this with you. Social media, people are watching you guys. So you don't realize. And out of those 4 to 6 people I'm sponsoring each month, they are not all brand new cold leads, you guys. Yes, several are. Surprisingly enough, a lot of them are people I've spoken to years ago who have been watching me consistently post and watch my life unfold on Facebook, or I haven't spoken to them, but they've been watching and they're like, what's this thing that you're doing? So you can't just expect to just reach out and then boom, you're going to sign someone. They're watching you. So even if it's not showing up now, this is what we're talking about with that consistency. It's going to. Whether it's a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, it doesn't matter. They're watching you. So if you're doing the right thing on social media, you're keeping it clean, you're not getting into political views, and you're posting inspirational things, all those things are going to attract people, and it's going to show up before you know it. And, when I started again, I was a total introvert, guys. I really want to share this, because so many people think that we get to the top of the company and we're out there, and we're just not. My perfect life, you guys, is where I live right now, in my office, half the time in my activewear, not today, all my days, That's my life. I'm still a little bit introverted. I love my own space. I don't need to be surrounded by people. I love being surrounded by people, but I don't need that. I actually love my own space. And that's the beauty of social media, you guys. I had to get way out of my comfort zone to walk those streets and talk to random people I didn't know. So I've grown a lot because of that. But if you are an introvert and you're sitting there thinking, I don't have the confidence, well, you can with social media. It doesn't matter. That's the cool thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter what you it's so cool.
No, and the next time you're like, oh, I don't want to message this person, I want you to imagine Nicole out there in the School of Hard Knocks, freaking pounding the pavement. So Nicole, where can people find you? Because I want them, and I'll put your name on the screen.
Oh, yeah, you can totally follow me on Facebook, Nicole Chugg, or Nicole.Chugg on Instagram. And I've actually been working with Kimberly on this. I'm actually launching a new group that's coming up soon. We've been working on it, haven't we? Yeah. And so I just really want to be able to help other people out there, learn what I've learned and pass that on to other people. And you know what, if you can just take 1 or 2 nuggets, then I've done my job and I'm being able to help people. And that's really what I want to do. So, if you want to follow me or learn a little bit more, just pop group in there and I'll absolutely add you. And, with Kimberly's help, it's going to be an amazing group. Just, adding so much value to everyone to support everybody so that they can do, what I've been able to do and get to the top of their company, because it's so worth it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, if you just drop that below, then she will get you in there when it's open, which is amazing. And then just so I don't forget, we are gonna pop off here in a second. I'm co-teaching a webinar tomorrow. If any of you guys want it, just put, here, let me put this in the comments or on the screen, LINK. If you drop that, ManyChat is gonna message you a link to Gold Digging Boss Babes. If you guys aren't already in there, you're welcome to jump in. You do have to be approved, so just fill out the questions. And in the events tab, you're going to see a link to register. You have to register to get the replay or attend the webinar. It's how to build a recruiting army through your customer base. Ooh, so if you feel more comfortable leading with product or customers, I'm co-teaching it with Terry Carey. And some of you know her and love her, just like I do. So we're going to teach that together. And then also I am going live tonight in 45 minutes in the game of networking. And as Nicole was talking about people watching you and you want to be able to connect with them and all that good stuff, I'm going to teach you how to structure your stories, because a lot of you are posting your stories, but there's no method to your madness. And it can be kind of hard to get on there and be able to be frequently posting if you're like, another quote, like I don't know what to post. So I've come up with a structure to the stories. It's an 8-part structure. It's super simple, but I'm going to go over that with you guys in the game of networking. So if you do drop LINK, there'll be a link to join Rob Sperry's group, The Game of Networking. I'm a moderator, so I can approve you if you jump in there now. If you're watching the replay, same thing. It'll just be a Facebook Live in there, and there'll be a freebie in the files tab for that, okay? So Nicole, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
You're a freaking legend. And you guys will be seeing more of her, so I will probably hang out on her side of the world at some point, but I'll be in her group and be helping her with that too. So thanks again. And yeah, okay, everybody have a great night. We will see you later. Bye. Bye.